1965, this is not what you would call an ideal situation. They will move out toward Five Forks. Now, I love teaching. I taught at Old Dominion University for a couple of years, and I'm not busting on my former students, but I had somebody ask me how long the 7 Years' War lasted. So when I felt vindicated from all the dumb answers I gave in math class. But the fact is, they were engaged and they were trying really hard, so that's all that mattered. So, as they're moving out, they go to Five Forks. Guess why they call it Five Forks? Five Forks go from 5 different roads right into this little area right here near Hatcher's Run. Now, Hatcher's Run, if any of you are Tidewater, Virginia people, what used to run in the rivers in the springtime? Shad. Ooh, bingo. Good job. Now, shad. How many of you have ever eaten shad before? It's a big fish. You know how to cook it? You lay it out on a cedar plank and you cook it. How long do you think you would cook it? About 2 days. And when you get done, you take the fish off of it and you eat the wood. You know that joke too. Now, shad planking. So, there was supposed to be a battle there. On March 31st, 1865, they had a battle of Dinwiddie Courthouse. George Pickett from Gettysburg fame had his division, or what's left of it, down trying to keep the South Side Railroad protected. He had been detached from Lee's army, and they defeat Sheridan, but he has to withdraw. And he's at Five Forks, and he's expecting a battle. Well, it's afternoon, and Tom Rosser and Fitzhugh Lee show up. Now, Fitzhugh Lee is the nephew of Robert E. Lee. He's not his son, he's his nephew. Tom Rosser will later be a general in the United States Army during what war? The Spanish-American War. So, Tom Rosser and Fitzhugh Lee go to Pickett and tell him that there's shad running, we have sides, and we have libations. So they're all eating shad. Pickett's away from his troops, and somewhere in between the mouth of bony fish, they see what across Hatcher's Run?
The Union. The Union.
People wearing shirts your color. And I imagine Pickett was like this. Those fish, bourbon, and coleslaw, or whatever they were having, came out of his mouth, and he rode on his horse. Now, no one ever considered Pickett to be a coward. Now, he wasn't probably the brightest man to be away from his troops, but he rode Indian style. Bullets are firing on both sides. What's the best way to go if everybody's shooting at you? Straight at him. Because they're all going to be shooting at each other, and he crouches down and actually rolls on one side of his horse while all the bullets are flying, and he rides right through it, just in time to see Phil Sheridan and the 5th Corps crush Pickett's division, and they take Five Forks. That is considered the Waterloo of the Confederacy, because capturing that means that they can threaten the South Side. The next day, on April 2nd, 1865, Grant orders an all-out attack. They break through Petersburg. Richmond is evacuated, and a week later, you have Appomattox Courthouse. The 10-month siege of Petersburg. There are 42,000 Union casualties, 28,000 Confederate casualties, and what it does is that it proves the logistical might of the U.S. military establishment, the military strength of Grant, and as you will study more about the Appomattox campaign, you will see how all of that concludes. Now, Any questions about it?
I do have a question. I do have a question.
Yes.
Do they ever say why the guys digging the tunnel were never discovered? It just seems like that long of a tunnel.
Because I want Can everybody hear her question? Why did they not discover the tunnel? How many times had people tunneled before then? Well, they could hear clanking and clanking. The Confederates dig several counter trenches or mines, but they could not locate the one the 48th Pennsylvania had put in with Lieutenant Colonel Henry Pleasance, their commanding officer, who happened to be what? A coal mining engineer. So Avon came up with an idea to move in fresh air by burning a little fire at the end to suck out all the nasty air, so they were circulating air. They were geniuses when it came to that. So the Confederates, once that blew up, that was a huge mess, but they were able to reform and continue fighting. Any other questions?